Right. Yes, I'm back at this recording. I'm recording to show you exactly what they did to my family property. This small tax bill. This is actually the easement. From here, come on. From here to here is roughly about 23, between 23 and 25 feet. This tax bill has the same dimension of my easement. They let me know that they had removed my easement and deeded it back to me, creating what they call a landlocked situation. This is your property line, marker, boundary line. Boundary line serve a purpose. It prevents property owners from encroaching each other's property. That's why we have a boundary line. See this fence here? This fence here was put in 1973. My mom built the house, the blue house there. The Gray family came out and put up their fence to make sure nobody encroached on their property. Even though we had a property boundary line here, you know, that's just stuff they do. So I'm going to show you exactly what sinisterism look like. See this pump house here? This house was built in 1973 to feed the house there. There's another pump house there, put there 6 years ago by my sister, who now owns my mom's house. What happened? A city official came out and backed into it, break the lines at the bottom, so she had to put in a new pump. If you look at all the way to the back there, you can see the wooden fence. The wooden fence was put in, connected to the metal fence. When the Gray family built their development next door, the apartment complex, they added the wooden fence all the way to the back that connects to the metal fence. And as you see, all the fence are still on their side of the boundary line, not on our property. This right of way, this road here, this is the right of way. This right of way has been on my family. I've been on my property for 53 years. This property has been owned in my family for 200 years. In 1973, my grandfather gave my mother 2 acres. The acre that she built that blue house here on, and the 2nd acre that I now own. She put an access easement on the back of the property, on the outside of the woods right there, so you have access to a second lot. And then in 1984, her 4 sisters and her brother came back and subdivided the additional 3 acres behind, what you can see the pool there. There's 3 acres was behind that pool, and they subdivided those 3 acres into 6 half-acre lots. And that's when they added this easement in 1953, so they'll have access to the 6 lots in the back that they own. So as you can see, the Gray family did not give anything. What they did, they removed our easement and right-of-way and deeded it back as individual property, creating what they call a landlocked situation. So the road is still here, but it's no longer recorded in the court as an easement, right-of-way. It's called as individual property. And you and I both know, when you don't have access to your property, like a right-of-way, then you got a landlocked situation. This was carefully planned, it was carefully orchestrated, and the Gray family and Murder Farm Corporation know exactly what they were doing. They've been trying to force us out of here for years. About 15 years ago, my niece back there put the double-wide home back there. The Gray family came out and put a fence on the easement and tried to fence her access off. This is rootless, pure evil. There's nothing they wouldn't do. They wouldn't do. This is cynicism. I've lived in different countries all my life, and I've seen a lot of racism firsthand. But to violate federal laws, state laws, real estate laws, civil rights violation, human rights violation, with no sense of remorse, is just astounding. It shows that they don't care about you. If you're a black man in this state of South Carolina, even this country, they feel that you have no human rights, no civil rights, no property rights. And they can take your property and do whatever they want to do when they feel like it. Now, I contacted an attorney, took my plat down there and contacted an attorney, and I heard some people say a bad thing about him, that he was no good. He's worked for the developers. He helped developers steal a lot of black folks' land. But I knew him for about 20 years, so I said, I'm going to get his opinion. So I took my plat down there, created in 1984 by my mom and her sisters and brothers. And he called his assessors on the phone. I think it's the same woman I talked to that was so arrogant and rude and disrespectful. He goes in the office, right beside the office I was sitting, turned his back, got this woman on the phone, and I heard him. He was mumbling under his throat like he didn't want us to hear the conversation. But I'm a great listener, so I listened very carefully. And he said some things, and she said some things, and she made one comment that was astounding. When she said that we was annexed into the city, that was quite appalling, because the whole transaction was illegal. So I'm waiting to see what he was saying when he come back to the desk without sitting. He comes back to the desk, and just an attorney. I'm not gonna call his name. I could, but I'm not gonna call his name because it's really not important. And he made no mention of the annexation into the city limits, which is pertinent information. Any client should be given that information, but he withheld the information. Then he come up with a bizarre story. The story is so insane, I couldn't believe he said it. He said he saw when my mama had the road that was deeded to her, and he saw that my mom had the easement on back of the 2-acre lots, but he could not see where my mama had access to our easement. And then he goes on and says something dumb, ridiculous, insane gesture that Mr. Gray family allowed us to use this property for 100 years, and they paid tax on it while we used it, and now they're tired of paying taxes, so they're going to deed it to us, and now we pay tax on it. How in the hell do you deed a man his own property he's owned for 200 years, an easement that's been in place on his property for 53 years? You can't come across boundary lines. So how in the hell you going to come across a boundary line, deed somebody property away and deed it back to him? It was the most outlandish, ridiculous, insane gesture from an attorney that I've ever seen. And what he clearly clarified that what they said about him was true. And I walked to the office and I said to myself, I can't believe he blew smoke up my behind and said something that dumb and ridiculous. But it showed me who he was, and at that point I said, you know what, this guy's a waste of time. But like I said, they warned me about him, but I wanted to get it from the horse's mouth in general. But once again, this easement, this right of way, it's on the opposite side of the boundary line, on my family boundary line, my family property. The property has been there for 200 years. The easement been recorded for 53 years in the courthouse. So if it's not there, because I have a plat that shows it, that means somebody has done something or removed pertinent information. It's not there. But the Gray family, that Myrtle Farm Corporation next door, the apartment complex next door, the apartment complex next door is one of the most corrupt corporations on the planet. When anytime someone can come on somebody's property and create a bogus survey and a bogus deed transfer and remove their property from possession, that's a high crime. That's sinisterism. That's ruthless. That's pure evil. Now I'm going to help. I think the survey company responsible is accountable because they performed an illegal act, illegal survey. The assessor's office is definitely responsible for allowing this criminal act to occur and filing a bogus document with no due diligence or checks and balance. And you got the council members and city officials who were just as much to blame. But anyway, I just want to do this video because I want to show you the corruption that goes on in Beaver County has went on for decades unchallenged, and now they're at the game to a whole nother level. They're using a system, our tax dollars that we pay these people to do the right thing, are now using our tax dollars against us, the citizens of Beaver County. And this is, I'm gonna end this video right there, but I'm gonna do another video, and I'm gonna go next door, or to, on the other side of this pond here, to my other family member who also had an easement for 200 years that they removed. And so stay tuned. There will be another video soon. Thank you guys. Hope you're having a great afternoon.